Hey everyone, I'm Marky Music, and I had an idea for like a series of videos that I thought would be pretty fun, where I can show how you recreate certain voices in video games or TV shows, because I haven't really seen too much of that online. So in this first episode, I thought it'd be pretty fun to go over Iron Man and how to replicate the sound of Iron Man's voice. And so in order to do that, and to replicate any sound, you have to understand the context of which you're hearing it. What are you hearing exactly when Iron Man is talking? And in my opinion, it boils down to two things. One is you're hearing Tony Stark talking from inside his suit. Specifically, his head is inside the metal helmet that is sealed. He's gone into outer space. So you need to replicate the sound of, if you're standing outside of his suit, what he sounds like coming from within his suit, as well as his voice communication thing or whatever he's talking through. So let's start off with what it sounds like when Iron Man is talking when you're standing right outside of his suit or next to him. So here I've recorded a pretty cheesy line. Proton Cannon. You know, he yells Proton Cannon in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I'm not going to yell it. I'm just going to say it enthusiastically. How do we get that to sound like it's coming from within his suit? Well, I think the first part is you want to eliminate the high end. I'm using an EQ here, and this is a low pass filter specifically, and I'm rolling off the high end at around 400 or so hertz. So here's what that sounds like. Proton Cannon. You hear it's like a lot more muffled. Here it is without. Proton Cannon. Here it is with the low pass filter. Proton Cannon. So we're nice and muffled. Next, I'm going to apply a compressor to smooth it out really nicely. It's a little bit too pokey with the way it currently sounds. I want the low end, and specifically what it sounds like outside of his suit, to be nice and smooth. It just feels nice. So that sounds like this. Proton Cannon. You hear it sort of smoothed out a little bit. Here it is off. Proton Cannon. Proton Cannon. It's a little subtle, maybe, but it adds up. Lastly, I put on a reverb effect on his voice. The way it currently sounds, I talked directly into a microphone. You can consider a microphone like your ears. So essentially, it's like I'm whispering into your ear. I'm talking right into your ear. And that's not necessarily how we hear sounds naturally. You know, we hear reflections if we're indoors. I put a little bit of really short reverb on that to give it some space. And let's see how that sounds. Proton Cannon. All right, here it is off. Proton Cannon. Proton Cannon. Here it sounds like a little further away, maybe. You know, that's sort of the sound I'm going for. All right, now let's move on to the inside voice. So here I have the same line. Proton Cannon. The same exact recording. I didn't re-record it or anything. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on an EQ, and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to roll off the low end and only leave really the high end. It's around the same spot, too. So here's what that sounds like. Proton Cannon. Here it's all the low end's gone. All the bass is gone. It's just trebly. Proton Cannon. All right. Next thing is I put on a doubler in mono specifically. So this sort of creates, it does some phase manipulation stuff, and it creates a double of whatever sound you have. And here I sort of layered them on top of each other because it's mono. I'm not sending one into each ear, which is what you would normally do with a doubler, is to sort of increase the stereo width of something. And this sort of creates a sort of robot-y feel. Proton Cannon. Sort of like a cybernetic sound. Here it is off. Proton Cannon. Here it is on. Proton Cannon. Sounds cool. Next, I put on a chorus effect. So the point of this chorus is to sort of give it a little bit more artificial, digital sort of feel to it. So a chorus is essentially you're taking it and it's subtly shifting pitch and it gives it like a really cool sort of, it makes it even more robotic. Here it is with the chorus.
Proton cannon.
And here it is off.
Proton cannon. Proton cannon.
It sounds even more robotic, which is cool. Lastly, I put on reverb pretty much the same way as I did the first time. Here's what that sounds like.
Proton cannon. Proton cannon. Proton cannon.
Sort of makes it sound like it's coming through like a metal pipe or a metal tube or something. The final step is to combine them, and we get this.
Proton cannon. Proton cannon.
So here I'll play outside the suit, and then inside the suit, and then combined. And let's hear how that sounds.
Proton cannon. Proton cannon. Proton cannon.
And that is how I would recreate the Iron Man sound.